Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Easy English Podcast. I'm your host Alex, and I'm excited you chose to join us on this journey into the art of bargaining. Today, we're going to learn how to save money while shopping by mastering the language of negotiation in English.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah, and I'm thrilled to be here with you too. Want to save money while shopping? Learn to bargain. Bargaining isn't just about lowering a price. It's an art form, a conversation, and sometimes even a cultural adventure. Whether you're shopping at a flea market in Istanbul, a local bazaar in Marrakesh, or negotiating a discount on your favorite store's website, knowing how to bargain effectively can leave you both with savings and a fun story to tell.
That's right, Sarah. In many parts of the world, bargaining is a way of life. Even if you're not from a culture that practices it regularly, being able to negotiate in English when shopping can help you connect better with local sellers and boost your confidence. Today, we'll cover the key phrases you need, discuss strategies and tips for negotiating, and even dive right into some role-play scenarios that simulate real-life interactions.
Over the next few segments, we're going to build your vocabulary, share some examples, and work through role-play scenarios that reveal the nuances of shopping English. We'll also touch on cultural matters, like knowing when bargaining is acceptable and when it's not, and share some humorous mistakes that even experienced shoppers sometimes make.
So if you've ever hesitated at the counter, wondering if that price is set in stone, stick with us. By the end of this episode, you'll feel confident asking, "Can you do any better on that price?" or even, "What's the best you can offer?" Ready to start saving money on your next shopping trip? Let's dive in.
Before we get into the phrases and role plays, let's chat about why bargaining matters. In many countries, the first price quoted is seldom the final price. Bargaining isn't just a tactic. It's an interaction that reflects the local culture. When you bargain, you're not only saving money but also engaging in a friendly, sometimes playful conversation with the seller.
Absolutely. Bargaining is common in markets throughout Asia, Africa, the Middle East, and even parts of Latin America. In these places, it is expected that buyers will negotiate, and often, the seller's initial price is set high so that there is wiggle room. Even in some Western contexts, clearance sales or negotiation sections in stores encourage a form of bargaining.
And it's not just about the money. A good bargaining session can be a fun cultural exchange. Think about it. You learn a bit about the local language, customs, and even a bit about the seller's life. It builds rapport. However, it's important to remember that not every country or store welcomes bargaining. In many fixed-price shops or upscale retailers, the price is not negotiable. So always take a moment to observe the environment and ask if your bargaining is appropriate.
That's a great point, Sarah. Respecting local customs is key. A friendly smile, polite greetings, and a willingness to engage in a conversation will help set the right tone. Today, regardless of where you are shopping, you're going to learn phrases that work in most informal settings, like a street market or a small independent shop, and we'll discuss tips on the body language and tone you should adopt when bargaining.
It might also help to have a mindset of curiosity rather than confrontation. Remember, the seller isn't trying to rip you off. They're expecting a little negotiation. Bargaining is an art, and today we're here to help you master that art in English.
By understanding both the language and the culture behind bargaining, you're already ahead of the game. In a few moments, we'll start drilling those useful phrases, so grab a notebook if you'd like. The vocabulary we cover today will be invaluable for your next shopping adventure.
Let's build our vocabulary toolbox for bargaining. We're going to start with the basics, the kinds of phrases that help you initiate a negotiation, Ask for details and make a counteroffer.
When you approach a seller, it's important to start politely. Here are some phrases you can use. Hello, how are you today? Hi there. I really like this item, but I wonder if the price is negotiable. Good morning, afternoon. Could you possibly offer a discount on this?
These greetings set a friendly tone. Adding a compliment like, "This is really beautiful," or "I love the quality of this product," shows appreciation and can soften the negotiation.
Often, you need to ask specifically about the price. Here are a few ways to do that. How much is it? What's the price of this? Could you tell me the price, please?
And if you want to verify whether the listed price is the best they can do, try asking, "Is that the best you can offer? Is there any discount available? Can you offer a better price if I buy more?"
Now, the fun part, making a counteroffer. This is where you suggest a lower price. Some common phrases are, "Could you do $50 instead? I was hoping to pay around $50. How about $50?
Or even phrases like, "I really love it, but my budget is around $50. If you can lower the price, I'd be ready to buy it right now. Would you accept $50?
Sometimes the seller might say, "No, that's too low," or offer a price that's still above your target. Then you can try, "Could you meet me halfway? I understand your price, but can you do $60? I appreciate it, but I was really hoping for something closer to $60.
And if the seller makes a counteroffer, "That's still a bit more than I can pay. Could you go any lower? I'm almost convinced. Would you be willing to adjust the price to $62?
Once you've agreed on a price, you might want to confirm the deal. Great, so $62 is it? All right, let's settle at $62. Thank you, I think we have a deal.
Or even, "I'll take it for $62, thank you." Don't forget to express gratitude. "Thank you for your time," or "I appreciate your help." Always ends the negotiation on a positive note.
Sometimes you need a little extra language to cover the gaps. For example, "Let me check my budget for a moment. I'm just comparing prices, bear with me. I really want to buy this, but my budget is limited."
These phrases show that you're not being stubborn. They're just part of a friendly negotiation. Practice saying these out loud. The more natural they feel, the more confidently you'll be able to bargain.
That was a great vocabulary session. Make sure you write down all these phrases. In our next segment, we're going to put this vocabulary into practice with a detailed role-play scenario that simulates a typical bargaining situation.
For our role play today, we're simulating a scenario at a busy local market. Imagine you're interested in buying a beautifully handcrafted leather bag. The vendor has placed a price on it, and you're about to negotiate. I'll play the role of the seller while Alex will be our shopper. Ready, Alex?
Ready as ever. Let's give this a shot.
Good afternoon. Welcome to my stall. How can I help you today?
Hi there. I really like this leather bag, it's gorgeous. How much is it?
Thank you. This handcrafted leather bag is priced at $80.
$80, huh? It is beautiful, but $80 seems a bit high for my budget. Is that the best you can offer?
Well, $80 is my usual price. However, because you seem interested, I might be able to make a small discount.
I appreciate that. I was actually thinking more along the lines of $50. Would you consider that?
$50? That's quite a drop from $80. The bag is handcrafted and of high quality, so I can't go that low.
I understand quality comes at a price, and I do value that. However, $50 is really what I have in mind. How about we meet halfway at $65?
$65 is still lower than my usual price. Perhaps I can do $70. It's the best I can do for this fine piece.
$70 is closer to what I was imagining, but it's still a stretch for me. I really want to buy this bag today, though. How about $60?
$60? Let me see. I understand you're trying to get a good deal. You know this bag cost me a lot in materials and time. I can come down to $68, but that's really my bottom line.
I appreciate you taking the time to work with me. I want to honor the quality of your work, so how about we settle at $68 and I promise to tell all my friends about your beautiful bag.
$68 is acceptable. We have a deal. Thank you for being a respectful negotiator.
Thank you very much. I'll take it. I'm happy we could reach an agreement that works for both of us.
Wonderful. Let me wrap it up for you. Enjoy your new bag and thank you for shopping with me.
That was a great demonstration. Notice how we used phrases like, "Is that the best you can offer?" and "How about we meet halfway?" These are key expressions that show you're both friendly and firm in your negotiation.
Exactly. The tone was respectful throughout, and both sides acknowledged each other's points. This is crucial in any bargaining situation. Building rapport can even lead to recommendations of future discounts or other benefits.
Take a moment, listeners, and imagine yourself in that market. Picture the vibrant colors, the chatter of the vendors, and the aroma of spices. Now, practice saying these phrases out loud. The more natural the words become, the more confidently you'll be able to negotiate in real life.
Now that we've seen one negotiation in action, let's simulate another scenario. This time, we'll imagine that you are shopping for a pair of handmade sandals at a busy street market. I'll be the vendor again, and Alex, you'll play the role of the shopper once more. Let's set the stage.
Hi there. I've been admiring these handmade sandals. They look very comfortable. How much are they?
Hello. Thank you for your interest. These sandals are priced at $40.
$40? That seems a bit steep. I've seen similar designs for less. Would you mind lowering the price a bit?
I understand your concern. These sandals are made locally by skilled artisans and use high-quality materials. Still, I might be able to offer a discount if you're interested.
They are very well made, and I can see the craftsmanship. My budget, though, is around $25. Is there any way you could work with me at that price?
$25 is quite low. How about $35? That's a reasonable discount, and it still reflects the quality of the work.
I appreciate that, but $35 is still a bit more than I can afford. I was really hoping to pay $30. I'm ready to purchase them immediately if you can do that.
$30. Let me think. I value your interest, and since you're ready to buy right away, I can meet you at $32. It's a little more than your offer, but I believe it's fair considering the quality.
$32 sounds reasonable. I understand that quality matters, and I'm happy to pay a fair price. So, $32 it is.
Great, we have a deal then. I'll pack them up for you. Thank you for your business.
Thank you. I appreciate your willingness to negotiate and adjust the price. I'm really happy with these sandals.
In that second role play, notice how the conversation slowly moved from the initial price to a mutual agreement. Phrases like, "Would you mind lowering the price a bit?" and "I'm ready to purchase them immediately if you can do that," are very useful. They demonstrate urgency and show that you've made up your mind.
Exactly. Also, noting the quality of the product and being respectful of the seller's work are key elements. You're not just haggling for the sake of it, you're engaging in a dialogue that respects both parties. That kind of warm negotiation creates a win-win atmosphere.
Listeners, if you can practice both parts of these role plays with a friend, try playing both the seller and the buyer. This will help you get comfortable with the vocabulary and the flow of a real bargaining conversation.
Now that we've seen our role-play scenarios in action, let's dive into some tactics and strategies that can take your bargaining skills to the next level. Negotiation is partly language and partly strategy, so here are a few techniques you can use.
One key tactic is the anchoring technique. When you start with a lower offer than the asking price, you set an anchor for the negotiation. However, make sure your offer is still respectful. For example, if a vendor asks for $100, you might start at $60 rather than $30. This way you leave room to move up.
Another useful strategy is splitting the difference. If you and the seller are far apart, for instance, you asked for $50 and they want $80, suggest meeting halfway. Saying, "How about $65" can bring you both closer.
Sometimes it isn't just about the price. Ask about bundle discounts too. If you're interested in several items, you can say, "If I buy this and that together, can you offer a better price?" Group purchases are an excellent way to negotiate.
Also, use pauses to your advantage. When a seller gives you a price, take a moment to show that you're considering it. This can sometimes encourage them to lower the price further just to keep you interested.
Remember that tone is essential. A friendly tone with genuine compliments goes a long way. For instance, "I really love the craftsmanship here," can make the seller feel appreciated and more likely to work with you on the price.
A further tactic is to show that you are willing to walk away. You can say, "I'm not sure I can stretch my budget that far. I might have to look elsewhere." Often, just the hint that you might leave can prompt the seller to offer you a lower price.
But be careful, use that tactic sparingly. You don't want to burn bridges or seem overly confrontational. It all comes down to balancing firmness with friendliness.
Another strategy that can work wonders is expressing uncertainty. For example, "I'm not 100% sure about the price," can open the door to negotiation. The seller may then feel compelled to justify why the price is high or might reduce it to assure you.
And let's not forget nonverbal cues. Maintaining eye contact, smiling, and nodding can help build rapport. A confident stance coupled with a relaxed tone often sets the stage for a productive discussion.
Summing it up, start by setting an anchor with a lower offer, consider splitting the difference, ask about bundled discounts, use strategic pauses, and maintain a friendly yet confident demeanor. Practice these tactics in everyday conversations, even outside of shopping, so they become second nature.
These negotiating strategies not only help you save money but also build invaluable skills in persuasion and effective communication. And remember, practice makes perfect. Use every shopping trip as an opportunity to refine your approach.
It's time to get interactive, listeners. We are going to run through a quick exercise to see how well you've absorbed today's vocabulary and techniques. Grab your notepad or simply pause the episode if you need a moment.
I'll ask you a series of questions. Feel free to pause here and think about your answers before we reveal the best responses. Ready?
Question 1. Imagine you're at a market and the vendor says, "This item is $60. What is a friendly way to ask if they can lower the price? Some possible answers include, is that the best you can offer, or could you do a little lower than $60?
Question 2. If you really like the product but find the price a bit too high, which of the following is the best counteroffer? A. I can only pay $30. B. I really love it, but my budget is around $40. Could you meet me there? C. No way, I'm not buying this unless it's free. The best answer is B. It shows appreciation for the product and sets a clear budget without being aggressive.
Question 3. Suppose the vendor says, I can only go as low as $55. What could you say next? A. That's too high, I'm leaving. B. Would you mind if I try to push a bit further? How about splitting the difference at $50? C. I'll think about it. Option B is the best response. Continued negotiation is better than an abrupt ending.
Finally, question 4. What phrase can you use to confirm that a deal has been reached? A. Deal, thank you. B. Whatever. C. Fine, have it your way. The correct answer is A. Always end on a polite note confirming the agreed price.
Great job, everyone. If you got most of these right, give yourself a mental pat on the back. The more exercises like these, the more naturally bargaining will come to you.
We encourage you to replay these scenarios in your head, or even practice them out loud. The next time you're in a market, try these phrases and see how it feels.
Remember, practice is the key. The interactive exercise is part of the journey to helping you become a confident negotiator in English.
For those eager to elevate their bargaining game even further, let's explore some advanced vocabulary and idiomatic expressions that native speakers often use during negotiations.
One useful idiom is sweeten the deal. You might use it like this: if you can throw in a free accessory, you really sweeten the deal for me. This suggests that any extra benefit makes the deal even more attractive.
Another idiom is play hardball. You can say, I'm not really here to play hardball, but I do hope you can adjust the price a bit. It's a way to signal that while you're serious, you're not trying to be overly aggressive.
Consider also the phrase, draw a line under it. For example, if we can agree on $65, I'd be ready to draw a line under it and buy immediately. It means you're ready to finalize the deal.
In terms of cultural nuances, note that in many countries, smiling and using polite titles like sir and ma'am are important when bargaining. In some markets, vendors appreciate when the customer shows genuine interest in the product's origin or craftsmanship. It builds goodwill and can lead to better offers.
When bargaining in cultures that value a bit of humor, adding a light-hearted comment such as, I'm on a tight budget this week, maybe you can help me out, can sometimes work wonders. It shows you're friendly while still getting your point across.
It's also important to be aware of body language. Maintain reasonable eye contact, and use hand gestures moderately to emphasize your points. A calm, confident demeanor not only helps negotiate a better price, but also shows respect for the vendor.
Another advanced tactic is to mention alternative products or prices. You could say, I saw a similar item for $20 less at another stall. Can you match that price? This is a gentle way to nudge the vendor toward a more competitive offer.
And finally, some extra vocabulary words you can use in these advanced negotiations include negotiable. Is the price negotiable? Flexible. Is the cost flexible at all? Reasonable. I'm looking for something at a more reasonable price. Discount. Could you offer a discount if I pay in cash?
Integrate these terms into your conversations to sound more fluent and confident. The more you practice these advanced phrases, the more naturally they'll come to you in a real shopping situation.
For our extended roleplay, we're going to dive deep into a simulated marketplace scenario where unexpected twists can occur. Imagine you're at a large outdoor market filled with colorful stands and a mix of traditional and modern goods. In this roleplay, we'll not only bargain over the price, but also handle unexpected extras like bundled items and add-on services. Alex will be our shopper once again, and I'll take on both the role of the vendor and later, a curious bystander who chimes in with advice.
Hi there. I've been checking out these handcrafted ceramic vases. They are really beautiful. How much are they?
Good afternoon. These ceramic vases are $50 each. They're made by a renowned local artist, so they carry a bit of a premium.
$50 is a little steep for me, especially as I'm planning to buy a couple for gifts. Do you think you could offer a discount if I purchase more than one?
I might be able to. If you're interested in two, I can offer them for $45 each.
I appreciate that, but I was really hoping to get them for around $35 each, considering my budget. Is there any way you can come closer to that price if I get three?
Three, you say? If you're buying three, perhaps I can do them at $40 each. That's the best I can offer without compromising too much on my cost.
I see. You know, I really love your work, but my budget is really tight this week. Could you possibly meet me at $35 each if I pay in cash and take all three right now?
$35 each is quite low, especially when my expenses have made the materials more expensive recently. I truly value your business, though. Let me check. If I lower the price to $37 each, and maybe throw in a small decorative item as a bonus, would that work for you?
That sounds like a very kind offer. I definitely appreciate the extra decorative item. How about $36 each then? That way, it's just $1 off your counteroffer.
$36 each, including the bonus decorative piece. You drive a hard bargain, but since you're a sincere customer, we have a deal. I'll wrap them up for you now. Just excuse me if I may add a tip from my own experience. Sometimes mentioning that you're a regular shopper in the area can help. For instance, you could have said, "I'm a frequent visitor here, and I appreciate your fine work. Wouldn't it be great if we could keep this going?" It might have opened the door for an even better discount.
That's a great suggestion. I'll definitely keep that in mind for next time.
Thank you both. It was a pleasure negotiating with you, and I hope you enjoy your vases. Remember, every market is unique, and bargaining is as much about building relationships as it is about saving money.
Wow, that extended roleplay was so dynamic. In this simulation, we saw how the conversation can move beyond just price and involve extras like bundled bonuses and even advice from bystanders. Notice the use of phrases such as, "Would you possibly meet me at," and "If I pay in cash." These nuances can make a difference.
That's right. Remember that bargaining is a dialogue, and sometimes unexpected elements, a bonus item or a bystander's suggestion, can influence the final deal. Keep practicing these scenarios. Rehearse them with friends or even record yourself to get comfortable with the flow of a real-life negotiation.
We've covered a lot today. Let's quickly recap our key takeaways for effective bargaining in English. 1. Polite beginnings. Always start with a friendly greeting and show genuine interest in the product. 2. Ask and counter. Use questions like, "Is the price negotiable?" or "Could you lower it?" and then offer your counter price. 3. Express appreciation. Compliment the product and the seller's craftsmanship. 4. Use strategic phrases. Incorporate phrases like "Meet me halfway," "Sweeten the deal," and "Draw a line under it" as part of your negotiation vocabulary. 5. Nonverbal cues: maintain a friendly tone, smile, and use confident body language. 6. Cultural sensitivity: understand that bargaining is a cultural art. What works in one market might differ in another. 7. Extra tactics: use tactics such as asking for bundled discounts, mentioning that you're a regular customer, and showing willingness to walk away if necessary.
Remember, effective bargaining is all about creating a win-win situation. It's not about undercutting the vendor disrespectfully. It's about engaging in a conversation that respects both parties' needs. Use the vocabulary and strategies we've discussed today to practice and perfect your negotiation skills.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into shopping in English. We hope that with our vocabulary drills, role plays, and strategic tips, you now feel ready to tackle any market with confidence and secure the best deals possible.
We'd love to hear your success stories and challenges when bargaining. Please leave us comments on this video. Let's keep the conversation going and learn from each other's experiences.
And remember, whether you're shopping for souvenirs abroad or scoring a bargain at your local market, every negotiation is an opportunity to practice your English and build cultural bridges.
That's all for today's episode of How to Bargain. We hope you found our tips and role plays helpful. Take these lessons, practice them, and most importantly, have fun saving money while shopping.
Until next time, happy bargaining, stay confident, and keep those savings coming. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in our next episode.
Goodbye, everyone, and remember, want to save money while shopping? Learn to bargain and do it with style.